Welcome and thank you for joining this TADHack Developer Resources webinar. I'll be honest with you, this has been the toughest year ever to put a TADHack together. So thank you to everyone who is taking part. You're the hardcore. You're showing that no matter what, you're going to be hacking. And in the future, when people ask you what you were doing during the pandemic, you'll be able to tell them you were hacking, and you'll have the video evidence in your pitch that you create for TADHack. Now, this webinar is a chance to get an introduction to the sponsors' resources. Not only the global sponsors, but we're also including Intelepeer and Symbl.ai, who are the local sponsors for North America. But there are also many other sponsors across the location, so check with your location on what additional resources you've got. Now, the plan for about the next hour or so is to kick off with an introduction from me. That's what we're doing. Then we'll go into an introduction to Simwood's resources from Jared. We'll then move on to Avaya CPaaS from Calvin and Andrew. We then have Avaya Cloud Office APIs from Mike Stowe. Props to Mike. It is 5 a.m. his time, so he's up very early. We then have Intelepeer. We'll have Cora, Adam, Nelson presenting, and then we'll wrap up the session with Symbl.ai, where we have Charlie and Vlad. So what I'd ask is keep your sort of mic on mute until each Q&A session. So after each presentation, we'll do a Q&A session, just letting more people in. And you can ask questions in the chat. You can email me. I think I've spammed everybody here many times, so you have my multiple emails. So just email me if you've got questions during the event or after. So hopefully there's enough ways to get in and chat about what we're covering. So what I'd like to do now is open up. Does anybody have any general questions at the moment? If not, then that's good. I would like to hand over to Jared. So Jared, would you like to introduce the Simwood resources?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone can see my slides okay.
Yep.
Fantastic. So I just want to spend the next couple of minutes introducing you to Simwood for those who may not know Simwood, and then the resources that we've got this year for TADHack. As you're probably aware, Simwood started as a UK company, as a voice wholesaler. Over the last 3 years, both through growth and through acquisition, we've kind of added multiple platforms here. So we have everything from network operator and wholesaler at the bottom to hosted PBX platform and a reseller platform in the middle, and then some end user specific content at the kind of the top of the stack there. But we're not just a UK company. We've also grown internationally. We have points of presence around the world, several in the UK, both East Coast and West Coast in the United States, and then a small point of presence in Singapore for our Simwood Meet video service as well. And I won't spend too much time on this slide, but really want to just very briefly say that building strong networks is in our DNA. We don't just resell somebody else's platform. We build our platform. We control as much of the platform where it makes sense to, and then use commodity computing in the cloud for things where we don't have to have exact control of the network. We run a fiber ring around London, and then have connections to other spots in the UK, for example. This is one of the ways that we just provide quality service to our customers. On the product offering side, we have kind of wholesale products and partner products. The only reason I bring this up is that any of you who might have been involved last year with TADHack, we were talking about the APIs on the wholesale side. This year we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to do things on our partner side with our Simwood Direct product, which is a hosted PBX platform. that gives you all the features you might expect from a hosted PBX, extensions and voicemail and IVR menus and Whisper and Barge and the call routing, time of day routing, call queues, ring groups, all those sorts of things. Also with a full API behind that, so that you can interact with your in any particular system you want to. We've also exposed the concept of trunks, so you could actually tie this hosted PBX back to an Astra system or a FreeSwitch system or some other PBX that you might be using as part of your hacking over the weekend. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. This year we've decided to do support via Slack. Last year I think we did both Slack and a video bridge. We're going to do it just via Slack this year. When you go through the registration process, we'll get your details, and then we'll send you an invitation to our Slack channel. Registration, we've had a little bit of trouble getting our registration form up on our website. So in the meantime, we're going to do registration via email. You can use this email address here on the screen, TADHack2020-signup at Simwood.com. We simply need to know your email address, your name, your team name or company name, and a good contact phone number to get a hold of you, just in case we need to reach out to you for some reason. One thing I'll note about the accounts that we're building for you on the Simwood Direct platform, these are not for production use, but they are fully featured just like a production system would be. We're going to include some free calling credit. If for some reason you burn through that calling credit and you need a little bit more, simply reach out to us on the Slack channel. We'll take a look at your usage and then bump up that credit. Just remember that the accounts will be removed after the event. So if you built something interesting, take screenshots, copy and paste information, download your recordings, those sorts of things before the end of the event. When you go through the sign up process with us, we will give you a set of credentials. You can use those for both the web interface, which will be direct.simwood.com, as well as the API. Our API documentation still points to pbx.sipcentric.com, but you can also use direct.simwood.com for those API calls as well. So I just wanted to call those both out. Either one should work, but I didn't want to have anyone be confused if they saw either of those URLs there. Very quickly, just cover what we see as the most common problems when people use our platform. Number one, making sure you have the proper IP addresses whitelisted in your firewall or access control lists. See our documentation for the full list of IP addresses that you'll need to make sure you let through, and we'll give port ranges there as well. Second thing is to make sure you have a proper caller ID value, especially for outbound calls. Due to regulations in the UK and elsewhere in the world, we do block calls on invalid caller ID. So please check your caller ID values, make sure that they're valid. And then last but not least, make sure that you're using one of the allowed codecs. G711 is always the safest codec to use, ALA or MULA. Yes, it takes a little bit of bandwidth, but it's not that much. So you're probably safer using G711. Last but not least, let's talk about documentation. Our API documentation for the Simwood Direct platform is at developer.simwood.com/direct. That will walk you through authenticating to the system with your credentials, the basics of how we do, REST calls, what you should put in the body, any specific headers you might need to add, those sorts of things, and then the different API endpoints that you can use. The other thing I'll point out is that we have a PBX client library written in a Node.js module that's linked there. You can use that instead of making individual API calls. If you want to use our JavaScript library, you can use that PBX client library to do some of the heavy lifting for you. And inside of that PBX client is an examples directory where we've built several, kind of fully fleshed out examples. For example, a WebRTC soft phone that I've linked to there at the bottom of the slide, where you can, have a full soft phone that you can play with as part of your hacking experience, so that you don't have to, use a different endpoint or write an endpoint from scratch. So feel free to use that as an example there that might be helpful for you as well. And with that, best of luck in all your hacking. I'll turn it back over to Alan.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jared. That was really great. And it's exciting to see all the new capabilities people will be able to hack with on Simwood. Do we have any questions from the audience there? I know quite a few people have joined during Jared's presentation. This is being recorded. We have a second session in about 5 hours time at 1 p.m. Eastern. But if not, do we have any questions for Jared at the moment? And I will be updating the Simwood resources. I know we've been getting lots of comments about the 404 links. We will be updating the resources as soon as we can, okay? If not, thank you, Jared. And I would like to move on to now Calvin and Andrew, who will be covering the Avaya CPaaS. So Calvin, Andrew, are you there?
Hey, Alan, this is Calvin. Yeah, I am here. I'm actually not going to be the one presenting on the day, but I'm just filling in today to see if I can give you guys just a little bit of an overview of what CPass is.
Perfect.
See if I can help out here. Yeah. Let me see if I can just share my screen here. Ellen, do you mind if I just go, if you just skip me here? I'm actually just trying to get dual screens here going. So
no problem. I mean,
apologize about that.
No. We can skip over you and we can move on. So we'll come back to you, Calvin, okay? So what we'll do next is we'll move on to, it's still Avaya. This is the Cloud Office APIs that are powered by RingCentral. And we have Mike Stowe, who currently is in the office at 5:16 a.m. on the West Coast. So Mike, are you there?
Alan, I am, and thank you. And I have a terrible confession, which is this is my virtual office. I have the background, so I didn't actually drive to the office at 5 a.m., so I apologize for that. A big welcome to all the hackers, everybody who's working on the TADHack Hackathon here. I'd like to share a little about kind of the Avaya Cloud Office powered by RingCentral. And if you're not familiar, we recently announced a partnership with Avaya. We're very grateful for that partnership. And Avaya is just a tremendous company. And along with the CPass capabilities that they'll be talking about very soon, we also have the UCaaS capabilities with a full set of APIs that are going to allow you to really interact with your business numbers and your business capabilities. Really the goal here is to give you the fullness of being able to manage and control business communications. Alan, can you see my screen by chance?
Yes, coming through loud and clear.
Perfect. So with this, we're still working on getting an awesome Avaya developer site for the UCaaS up for Avaya Cloud Office. In the meantime, if you go to developers.ringcentral.com, you're going to be able to take advantage of all the APIs available for Avaya Cloud Office with a free developer account. So the easiest way to get started, again, developers.ringcentral.com, click sign up today. It's going to walk you through creating a free account. That free account is going to let you do a bunch of different capabilities, from voice to SMS to team messaging, meetings, fax capabilities, and of course, data and configuration. And we think this is really where the power of this platform comes in, is the ability to make these phone calls, the ability to, if you're in North America, to be able to send SMS messages, the team messaging capabilities, video capabilities, but also to have the data behind it so that you can really bring in some really cool things such as, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, machine learning, etc. At least those are the buzzwords that I was told to say. So a lot of different capabilities. How it works with the RingCentral and Avaya Cloud Office platform is once you click on a specific API, such as Voice API, it's going to take you to the page itself. And on the page here, you're going to be able to find all the details of that API, the features, as well as code examples. Again, with the free sandbox account, you're going to be able to do all this, make live calls, and really build out your application. And you can see that we have code examples, whether it's JavaScript, Python, PHP, Java, C#, and Ruby. But this is where it gets really, really fun. Getting started with the Avaya Cloud Office platform is as simple as copy and paste. You can add a fully functional embeddable phone into your application to get started. So if you're saying, man, I really want to take advantage of the Avaya Cloud Office platform and get this in there, that's really as simple as clicking Get Now on the embeddable, and finding this single snippet of JavaScript and pasting this into your web app. And just like that, you've embedded a fully functional soft phone that allows you to do voice, SMS, and even video. And of course, you can find all the APIs and the embeddable widget under our products tab right here. So your APIs and your widgets. But we all know that in order to be successful, we need to have good, strong resources. So under resources, you're going to find our Getting Started guide. How difficult is it to use the Avaya Cloud platform and to make a voice call? If you click on Make a Phone Call here, it's going to take you to our Getting Started guide. Give it 1 second here. To create the app, once you create your account, simply click Create a Ring Out App. It's going to set up the app for you. It's going to walk you through that. So you don't have to worry about what permissions do I need or how should I set up. And then if I want to do it with PHP, because I'm a PHP guy, if I don't already have Composer installed, it's going to show me how to use in Composer, how to install the SDK, and then I can literally copy and paste this code snippet, replace it with my credentials or my information, and just like that, I now have a fully functional app to make voice calls. We also have a fully functional and full API reference, so you can go through each of the different API calls. You can you test your calls out, make sure that they're working before you put them in the code. SDKs. So if you're saying, look, I want an SDK, I don't have to create this wrapper from scratch or just use curl by myself. C#, Java, JavaScript, Python, PHP, Ruby, Swift. Plus, we have several more created by the community. So if you're a Cold Fusion person, if you use Golang, the list goes on and on. You can use any of those SDKs. In terms of support, we want to make sure that you have all the support you need to be successful in the hackathon. There's nothing worse than starting working with an API and not getting support. That's why we have a full community that's going to back you on this. You can find support both in our live chat, where you can register with our live chat and work with our developer support engineers and community. We have our Twitter handle. You can always tweet at RingCentral Devs. We're active on Stack Overflow. And we have a full functional developer forum that you can reach out to as well. And of course, our support, we offer free tier 1 developer support. So if you have questions, feel free to file a support ticket. If you're like, no, this is top secret, I don't want anybody else to know what I'm working on, I don't want to share my code with anybody else, again, you can create that support ticket and our developer support team will be happy to work with you. Last 2 things I'll mention, and then I'll do something I rarely do, which is stop talking. We want to make it even better. So we have a Game Changer program. With the Game Changer program, as you learn about Avaya Cloud Office and the APIs with it, you can actually earn points by completing challenges. Those points can be redeemed for things like my personal favorite swag, but also things like Echo Dots, iPads, MacBook Pros, conference passes, software, etc. So we really want to support the community as much as possible. And of course, the end all and be all is once you've created your app, huge opportunity to get your app up in front and center of over 400,000 customers, in the Avaya Cloud Office App Gallery, the RingCentral App Gallery. But all in all, very, very excited to see what you'll create and what you'll build with the Avaya Cloud Office platform. And speaking of being, again, virtually at home here, my cat has decided to join the stream. So with that, thank you very much. I'm happy to answer any questions that there might be.
Excellent. That was great, Mike. Thank you so much. Any questions? Oh, just a sec. No. Okay. If we don't have any questions, just hang on a second. I'm just getting. Okay, Mike. So if you could take your screen share down. Thank you. That's great. Just a reminder to everyone on the call, we're getting good numbers on watching this. If you could make sure that you're on mute, that just helps us out in avoiding interruptions. So Calvin, are you okay to present now?
I think so.
Cool. Well, go for it. Press that screen share button and let's see if we can see your screen now. So Calvin will be presenting on the Avaya CPass.
All right, let me know if you guys can see that.
Yes, we can. We can see that.
Okay. All right, great, guys. So Avaya CPass. So the Avaya CPass is our communications platform as a service, and it's simply a solution that allows developers to quickly and easily integrate calling, texting, and functions into their application or our API. The best way I can explain it is to think of CPass as like a back-end platform with APIs that allow you to present front-end offerings. So think chat, voice, video capabilities embedded into your customer-facing application. It goes virtually anywhere that the internet connected device or application telephony has functionality. So many companies now are turning to CPass because it's entirely cloud-based. So it kind of removes the need to own hardware and delivers simpler, quicker, and just more cost-effective access to calling and texting functionality. Some of the examples are just like having your doctor send you a text as an appointment reminder, your bank or credit card company texting you security codes for your login, or clicking a link from a mobile app to call a support representative if you're experiencing any issues, etc. So why Avaya Cloud CPass? Well, we're already natively supported by other Avaya services like Experience Portal, Proactive Outreach Manager, Office, Breeze, ANS. We also provide free developer tools, access right from the website. Users can kind of leverage inbound XML, our REST APIs. They're all free development tools. The only cost is a consumption of the APIs. We also have burstable SIP services, which are not limited to the number of trunks. We support provisioning local numbers, toll-free numbers, and short codes. We have accessible APIs. Again, they're fully documented, and we offer quick start guides, sample code, and libraries that you can use to get started quickly. I'll kind of show you guys what that looks like in a little bit. We have competitive rates. We're also support inclusive. So regardless of the consumption model or the volume, there's no monthly costs or annual fees associated with standard support. Again, as I was mentioning, we do have APIs are open, documentation there, and so they can choose to develop in any language or environment that they have, like PHP, Java. We also have our Go libraries, .NET, whatever you're choosing to develop in. So some of the more popular uses for the CPass platform, we have messaging, voice, carrier service, and again, we have number provisioning in over 50 countries here. Some of the more popular use cases that we have are two-factor authentication. It is one of our more popular messaging use cases. Being one of our more popular. It's pretty simple. You'll just have people go to cloud.zang.io. Once you have your account created, you'll be very easily be able to come in our dashboard, purchase a number from here, and then we'll get started on the day of the time. That might be having any issues, anybody that might need some credit to get up and get started. From here, all our participants will be able to access our documentation, which will give them some information here depending on any libraries that they might need. They can go right into our documentation, and from here, they'll be able to just kind of look through it and anything that they might need. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. That was great. Thank you, Calvin. Do we have any questions from the people on the call? I know I've been letting in several more people. Apologies that the invite didn't confuse a couple of people, because Google keeps trying to insert its own meeting service into any invite you send out. That's why I always put the Zoom header on the title for the invite. But any questions for Calvin? If not, we're making great progress. What I'd like to do now is to invite the Intelepeer team. If you could come on down and give us your presentation.
All right. Let me make sure I'm hitting the right buttons here.
No problem at all, Adam.
All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Okay, excellent. So I'm Adam Klodner, VP of App Dev from Intelepeer. This is our second year doing this. We had a really great time last year, and was amazed to see all the creations that came out of this. So what I want to do, just real briefly, go through this slide and show the registration process, and then I'm actually going to go into smart flows and just give a little show and tell of how to maneuver in there and get the best out of your experience for the hackathon. So on October 9th, this link's going to become live. We're also going to send out a token for you guys to plug in. You'll get that token, you'll plug it in, you'll fill in the rest of your credentials. You'll get a verification, so you'll get an SMS or something. You plug it in, you verify, and you're off to the races. You automatically get assigned a phone number, and you can just start building. So with that, what I'm going to do is show you what you're going to build. This is our smart flows system. It's CPass. It's does a lot, but this is your landing page. So this will be your list of flows that you've created. You have an audio library, so if you've got any kind of audio files that you might want to be using in your flows, you can load them in here, and then they'll be accessible to you inside. This is where you'll assign your number. It's real simple. So if this was your number here, you'd select it, you assign a flow, and you can choose if you're going to assign it to, is it going to be a call type or an SMS? Okay. From there, this will actually be something that's really useful to you. These are a list of templates that we've created, basically different use cases. So we have inbound API templates, we have a WhatsApp template. It's a good place to click on and just kind of get a little once over of what's going on in here. Okay. If you don't want to do that and you feel real comfortable, you can just start a flow from scratch. From the left side here, you have all your different actions that you can do. Now every flow's got to need a trigger. So it's got to start with something. Basically, we're telling the flow, this is how you're starting. Real typical one, we do an inbound call. Maybe we want to play an audio. Here's where we can actually configure that audio. So remember I was talking about that audio library? These are all the things that are available to you. You can then do things like transfer out. Maybe you want to send an SMS off of these things. Each one of these pins corresponds to an action. So when you want something to happen after one of these actions, it's as simple as connecting which pin you want and what you want to do later. That makes sense. And then from there, so here we have all these different actions. I will tell you, just because of the length of time for the hackathon, WhatsApp probably won't be available because it normally takes at least 2 weeks to go through the WhatsApp process to get a number available for business. So unfortunately, WhatsApp won't be available for this hackathon. If you like what you see, maybe you'll come back and try it out later. So you have all your different voice actions. We've got messaging, so you've got your SMS, again, WhatsApp, some Facebook. Here's your actual flow logics. So you could do switches. You can actually modularize your flows. So instead of having one giant flow, you could actually create a bunch of little ones and then reuse those modules across other flows. We've got call recording, so you can actually capture conversation. And then we start getting into some of our we have Watson Assistant, and we integrate with Lex. And then we also have natural language processing. So we can do speech rec, tonality, and all that sort of thing. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little tip for me personally. The two biggest things I think that are going to be the best weapons in your tool belt are this external web call and the inbound API trigger. Basically, with the inbound API trigger, any other system that you might be playing with that can call an API can call your flow. And likewise, if you have any other systems that can be hit by an API, you're going to use external web call, and the world's your oyster at that point. So with that, I'm going to jump back to the slide real quick, show you some of these. These are some of our resources. They'll be available to you guys. I know Cora, Nelson, and I pretty much live on that Slack channel. We had a really good time last year. That's all I got. I don't know if Nelson or Cora, you guys have anything. I know I probably talk real fast, but it's morning, so.
No, I think you did awesome. For all you hackers out there, this right here will be a great page to save because it'll have a lot of your links. If it takes you to our page, our website that has a lot of the use cases and demos and explains and has a lot of good info for you to kind of get you started. In addition to, please don't be shy to use our Slack. Alan has posted our Slack link. Go ahead, go on there, ask us questions, tell us what you're building. We have so much fun doing this, and we can't wait to see what you come up with this year.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cora and Adam. Do we have any questions for Intelepeer? Check that because I put a couple of people who joined us on mute because we were getting some noise from your side. So if you're wondering why you're talking and nobody's hearing you, it's because I put you on mute. But otherwise, this is good. For those who have joined us, because we've had perfect timing. Charlie from Symbl.ai has just joined us. I was wondering where the Symbl guys were. So this is all going to be recorded so that, and I'll get the content out later today. So all these presentations, if you joined and you were wanting to hear about Simwood, we'll have that available soon. Also, the nice thing is that we've got a second session that will be running this afternoon to catch the bulk of the US. So with that, again, thank you to the Intelepeer guys. And Charlie, your timing is impeccable. You've just joined us as we need you to present. So are you there, Charlie?
It's incredible timing, isn't it?
Cool. So
Sure.
over to you, Charlie.
All right. Format of this, should I just run through a presentation?
Yep,
or,
you can. Yeah, it's just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just share your screen. Just run through basically how developers can sign up, some of the things that Symbl.ai does.
All right, cool. Let me just get a moment to get set up, and I'll hop over to that.
While Charlie's getting set up, all the conference calls I do, especially when you've got a number of US people, you always get very worried at 8:30 a.m. because that tends to be when the whole house lights up using the conferencing systems, because the children are on Zoom at school, everybody else starts doing their Zoom. So that's normally where we start getting lots of things slowing down. So we're doing quite well at the moment in keeping the video ticking over. So Charlie, are you okay in sharing your screen?
So I'm actually dialed in on an iPad, and then I'm trying to dial in on my my computer right now.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm not getting the right link. Give me a Google Meet.
Ignore the Google Meet. It's up on the. Just go to the header for the invite, and you'll see that. Yeah, it's Google Meet sneaks them in. Even when I send the invite out, it's sneaking in.
That's Google's prerogative, right? Just,
yeah.
like weaseling its way into the
just causing confusion.
of everybody.
So on the header there, you'll see it's also on all my email signatures. So it's just a Zoom link.
Okay, cool. Yep, I see it now. It was just a list
No problem.
or truncated.
Yes. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay, hopefully.
Yeah, just letting you in on that one as well. I know a couple of people have asked, where's Sangoma? So that's the Asterix platform. With Sangoma, they're maxed out at the moment with Astracon. So they've got the resources, they've got all the links there. So then they don't have time to take part in this webinar, and we'll have limited support available over the TADHack weekend, but all the resources there, the community's there. So use Asterix wherever you can. And of course, as Jared mentioned earlier, they've got the links to enable you to be able to set up and use Asterix as well. But I can see symbols there. So Charlie, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. Hi, guys. My name's Charlie Beckwith, and I'm with Symbl.ai. We're super excited to be sponsoring this year's event, and we're excited to show you our comprehensive suite of conversational intelligence APIs that make adding AI to your application easier than you could probably imagine. So let's get started. If you have any questions, you can tweet me at Charlie Beckwith. We're going to be posting videos all week, along with other like how-tos and other content. So let's get started. So probably wondering, if you haven't looked into us, what is Symbl exactly? What is conversational intelligence? If you're familiar with like Siri or Amazon Echo, it kind of takes that to the next level. It allows you to analyze either real-time or post-processed video or audio, and analyze that conversation and pull out important details from it that that can help you improve your sales pipeline or automation. Really, the use cases are pretty much limitless, because it is just an API. And what it's doing is just understanding natural human flowing conversation. So keep going. So there's a few ways that we can ingest your conversation data. The first is through a telephony connection. And you can do this by dialing in via SIP or PSTN. And so we could literally add it to this call right now, and it could be listening to me and picking up details that I'm speaking in conversation right now. We can also use WebSockets API, or we can also use a WebSockets interface. And with this, we have a universal adapter that works with Twilio, Chime, Amazon Chime SDK, Agora, like pretty much every single platform that we've tried it with. So this is 100% web-based. It is one of the best interfaces for complete diarization. And it is, again, you have real time. And then we have async APIs that allow you to post-process pre-recorded audio or video. So if you were at a call center, for instance, and you were recording one of your like sales reps, and you want to make sure they're hitting every note, you could take a pre-recorded conversation and then have it analyzed and get a full, a full feedback of what was, what kind of happened during that call. And then also we're able to ingest email and chat and transcripts. And what's more is you can actually do all of these things in, kind of like tandem. So if you start off with a conversation that, is on email and it moves over to a call, you can actually append the conversation using our APIs so that the data still stays in one place. So I went over conversational analysis, but I didn't actually touch on what exactly we're generating here and what you're going to be getting out of Symbl. And so to that now, there are contextual summary topics that exist during a conversation. So as you know, you're speaking with another person or 3 or 4 other people, there are different topics that come up in conversation, right? And we actually pull those out in a hierarchical way. So we're able to, determine that Charlie's talking about Symbl and he's at TADHack, or he's, talking to TADHacks, and this is all, part of that conversation. And so I'll get you an image of that in a second. We also pull out action items. So that's something like where you might say, I will like do this thing, like, or I will, no, I need to go do this thing, or I need to present for TEDx at 7 o'clock in the morning, and questions as well. So if there are any questions that come up, we're able to extract that, that insight and pull that out so that you can then, decide what to do with the resulting information. Each insight points back to the message at which it was, that it was, that the insight was generated from. So you can then pull, other messages to kind of fulfill that. So you could actually get answers to those questions. So you can kind of think of like a school scenario here where maybe not for a hackathon, but where you'd be asking a question, or students might be asking a question and a teacher's answering it, and you'd be able to actually detect that a question was answered, not just what the question was, but then, figure out a way to actually deliver on that. We also detect follow-ups, which are like if you said that you will do something, action phrases, real-time transcription, which I touched upon in the previous slide, going over APIs. So that's real-time closed captioning, speaker diarization, which is the ability to split up who is talking when, and external speaker events, which allow you to kind of trigger different things. And then we also have topic-based sentiments, which we're releasing soon. It's in our pipeline. It's not available today, probably won't be used in this hackathon, as well as conversational analytics. So right now, you can just imagine for conversational analytics where that role would play in any kind of a business setting, or really anywhere. So be able to detect who is talking when, how much time they spent talking, if there was any overlap, like if he was interrupting somebody else, if like a sales agent was talking over somebody, and as well as silence. But again, those aren't available today, but it's something to look forward from us in the future. After you're done post-processing or recording a real-time conversation, we have a pretty robust video summary UI. And on the left here, you can see that we have our topics for the conversation. The ones that are more blue are, like a deeper hue of blue, or more saturated, are topics that were more frequently visited during that call. So anytime you click one of those on the left, it would bring you down to the places in the conversation where that topic had been mentioned. And it's context-based, so it's not just dependent on the word. On the right, you can see some of our action items, where you look at the top there, on the upper right-hand corner. Mike Suster says that he's going to take the person we think is the best fit and believes in our mission. And it pops right over to that moment in the transcript. So it just jumps to it. It's almost like a little bookmark, and the video starts playing from that moment. from the moment that that action item was generated. So this is also another way to navigate, through a call without having to actually scrub through the entire thing, or only, visit the relevant part that you're trying to analyze. We also have a library of of elements that has not been released yet, but will be released pretty soon. So we'll see if we can get it out for TEDx, but be on the lookout for a how-to and page from us, link to our GitHub repo. So how exactly does it work? As I've kind of already gone over, we take in any kind of voice, video, or text from any channel, and using our REST APIs, Symbl then will process that voice, video, or text, and then generate your insights, action items, transcripts, then that you are then able to, do whatever you may will with. So you can integrate. So Symbl doesn't integrate with Slack or Jira or Zapier out of the box, but you can use those APIs and the insights that are generated to then create some kind of an automation pipeline or workflow. So during the internal hackathon, actually last month, myself and another one of Symbl's engineers created an application that sat in the background and while you were on a Zoom call, and actually creates Jira tickets as we were just having natural conversation. So we'd noticed that if a certain phrase was spoken, that it would then fire off a request to create a new Jira ticket using the insight assignee. So, I mean, the ways that you can use insights are really, the ways that you choose to digest it after we ingest it are, pretty much limitless. So don't think that over here, this is something that you have to stay in that box. So to get started, you can head over to our homepage at Symbl.ai. You can sign up there. Right now, there's no credit card required at all. You just need to enter your name, email address, and password, and we'll give you at least 100 free minutes and 1,000 free words. But by being at TADHack, email us TADHack @Symbl.ai, and we can boost that trial period so you have a little bit more wiggle room to play around with Symbl's APIs. You just need to retrieve your API credentials then after creating your account and logging into the platform, and copying those app ID and secrets over to our Postman Collection. So if you head over to our documentation from the home page under the resources panel, you'll be brought to our documentation, and from there we actually have a Postman Collection that it includes just about every single one of our APIs and is the quickest way to get started playing around with Symbl's Symbl. So you could actually, in the time that I've spent talking about this, you could have signed up and already started running the Postman Collection. If you're not familiar with Postman, I couldn't recommend it more because it is extremely useful. It allows you to make REST API calls from an application, so you're not having to make curl requests, and after one request is done, it can save environment variables, and those environment variables can be used in future REST API calls. So it's incredibly useful. I could not recommend it more to any developer. So again, yeah, you can see on the right here, I have the Postman Collection up and running. I can actually call my phone directly using the telephony API from Postman, which can then start recording conversation from my phone, which can then, like starts generating topics immediately. And you can do this as well, just, again, directly from either this application, or I believe they also have a web interface. So you don't even maybe need to download anything, but the Postman Collection is still the easiest way to get started playing around with everything that Symbl has to offer. We also have some GitHub repos. So if you head to github.com/Symbl.ai, you can see we have some sample applications for 3 of the most popular video chat SDKs out there: Twilio, Amazon Chime, and Agora. And on the right here, you can see a demo application that I actually built for Chime SDK. And on the left, you can see the transcripts, as well as each insight type that currently is being generated. So I have a follow-up action item and a question over there on the left side, and all of that, all of those transcripts were pulled out of the conversation directly, not typed in. And then underneath the picture there, you can see a subtitle or closed captioning. So we're adding real-time transcription to video in a way that is you can get up and running within 30 minutes. And that page I showed you a little while ago, that summary UI, where you're able to click around and kind of navigate through a video or audio call. It doesn't have to be video. I've added a button there that allows you to retrieve our summary URL, which you can get through our Experiences API. So I'm not sure how long that was, because I didn't time myself exactly, but I'd like to thank you for staying with me and listening. And if you have any questions, please you don't hesitate to shoot there, ask. And yeah, we look forward to working with you guys and seeing what we all build together.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Charlie. Do we have any questions for Charlie? Again, we're really excited by just the range of resources we've got to hack with this year. Of course, our global sponsors are Simwood, Avaya, Sangoma, Asterix. So they're the 3 that, twin prices you hack on. We have Intelepeer and Symbl.ai, who are our North American sponsors. But, we're flexible. If if it's interesting what you've seen from either the GUI with Intelepeer or the automation of understanding of conversations, whether it be voice, video, or text, there's no reason why you can't mash up. That's the thing I always say to every TADHack is mash up the sponsors. And we've got some really nice complementary sponsors this year. So really looking forward to seeing what you create. So any questions? If not, for the few, because I know people have been joining through the call, this is recorded. I will get the videos out later today. We do have another session. So if you came in at the end, you can always join us I think it'll be 1 p.m. Eastern, which will be 7 p.m. Central European, South African, 10 a.m. West Coast. So poor old, because Charlie, I think you're West Coast as well, aren't you?
I'm actually in the Midwest.
Oh, so Midwest, okay.
I'll be on the floor at TADHacks, actually. To Chicago. I'm in St. Louis.
Gotcha, cool. Just to let you know, we just mentioned, released the message yesterday. Because of the COVID-19 situation, unfortunately, the university won't let the event run now in person. So it's only going to be remote, I'm afraid.
Got it. Okay.
Look, it's good. It enables me to mention it here as well. So cool. Right. Thank you to everyone who's taken part in this call. It's great to see over 30 participants. Well, more, because we have people come in and out. We have another session this afternoon. I'll get this published as quick as possible. And again, sign up start asking questions, start playing with those resources. You can see we've got some really excellent and exciting capabilities to play with. So once again, thank you so much to everybody. And I hope to see you soon see your hack soon at TADHack Global on the weekend of the 10th and the 11th of October. Thank you and take care.
Thanks, guys.